Hey baby doll, Tommy Thompson here. This is my masterclass on Los Angeles, also known as dumpster fire shithole desert dust bowl basin that borders the freezing fucking cold Pacific Ocean, filled with disgusting people, degenerates, homeless, and Hollywood gay celebrities. So the thing that you need to know first and foremost is that, like I said, this is Tommy Thompson. I'm Irish Catholic, raised between Cincinnati and Boca Raton. This is not Saul Ginsberg of Brooklyn, a con man who I'm often confused with. The girls that move to Los Angeles are internet prostitutes. Fake-faced, fatherless internet prostitutes. That is the way to define them in the dictionary. And to understand the psyche of these girls, they're generally sixes, and they think that they're too cute in their high school class to hang around and blow guys at the local bar who are truckers and construction workers. So they take a bus to Los Angeles and they pretend that they're a model, but they're actually a prostitute. Now, they're like a Las Vegas prostitute, except the Las Vegas prostitute will just say to you, hey, it's $500 to have sex with me. A Los Angeles prostitute will say, well, if you can just pay my rent, then we could hang out once every week. And, they'll generally have 3 or 4 old men, one paying the rent bill, one paying the car bill, one paying the credit card bill, who they're having sex with for money. Now, what are their goals? They have 2 major goals. The first goal is to find a guy with a lot of money to get pregnant by or to marry so that they don't have to work because they're not capable of work. The other goal they have is to be a masturbatory instrument to anybody with any degree of fame whatsoever. So this could be anyone who's ever been on a reality show or a TV show or even has a blue check on their Instagram. These girls will at the drop of a hat perform sexual favors for so that they can brag to other girls, because these girls are a very competitive bunch. These are the very annoying girls who always wanted a lot of attention and didn't get it. So LA is the center of attention. These girls all go there and they compete with each other for who could be the skinniest and who could be the most boho chic, west side, bullshit, Malibu looking hippie. They kill off their sex hormones by eating vegetables and doing yoga, taking antidepressants and smoking weed. And the only way to very easily have sex with them is to give them cocaine, because it will give them confidence and energy. And those are 2 things that they don't have. What else of importance is there? If you're a regular boring fucking white guy from the same type of small town that they came from, they want nothing to do with you because they think that they're on a TV show, because now they moved to Los Angeles, so they meet you and they're like, well, geez, I drove here to get away from these kind of guys, so I need somebody who's has a foreign accent, or he's on TV, or he's got tattoos, or rides a motorcycle, or something exciting in some way, shape, or form. Again, if you just give them cocaine, all of this stuff goes out the window. You can be ugly and boring, and you will get laid. I've seen very attractive girls following guys around at parties like a little puppy, because I know that they gave them some blow and they wanted more blow. Let's see. We could probably complete this whole entire masterclass within a couple minutes, because it's such a simple, basic, boring fucking place. LA isn't really a city. It is many small towns right on top of each other. It was created as a city because of a need for water, because again, it's a fucking desert. So they pipe in water from Colorado. That's the only reason that Los Angeles is able to exist. And all the communities have a shared need for water. And then the entertainment business, Hollywood, is the city within the city that to some degree holds things together. And there really are no good jobs in LA besides entertainment business jobs or jobs that support the entertainment business. The entertainment business was started by the Jew mob. So you all know about the Italian mafia from the movies. Before the Italian mafia, just think everything the same but Jews. So from 18, I don't know, 60 or 70 until probably the 1930s or 40s. The Jew mob is everything that you know about the Italian mafia. And after 1990, the federal government is everything you know about the Italian mafia. So think Clintons, Bushes, etc. So it started by the Jew mob. It used to be that only upper class people in major cities had access to plays, entertainment, and so Broadway. And then with the invention of film, they realized they could just make one play and then put it on in movie houses around the country, and this would be extremely profitable, and regular people could access plays and entertainment. And then with the advent of television, now everybody could get these plays in their own home, so you had working class people able to observe. The actors and the performers have always been gay. Think back Shakespearean London, there was no female actresses, the men wore drag, and to this day, the performers are by and large gay in the acting business as well as the music business. Most of them are closeted, but much more than half of all the performers are gay. So you have Jew mob, and they still are in charge. They just have made their shares of the company a part of publicly traded companies. So the money's been washed, but it's still Jew mob, AKA, you've all been familiar with Harvey Weinstein, people like that. And then there's gays, both the openly gay and many closeted gay, and then rich kids. So trust fund kids, because, if you're born, you don't have to make any money, you got nothing to do. What do you want to do? Hang out with celebrities, get yourself involved in the entertainment business, have fun. So that's who makes everything from TV to film to music, is Jew mob, gays, and rich trust fund kids. So LA is packed with rich trust fund kids. Some of whom are wonderful people, some of whom are not wonderful people, but these girls that move out there, they think that they're gonna marry one of these Jew trust fund kids. So 9 out of 10 of the trust fund kids are Jews. Maybe 8 out of 10, probably 9 out of 10. And these girls think that they're in the running to marry these Jews, but they don't realize that, they're gonna get a free Chiconi's pizza and bottle service, and that they could, come to the after party and give a blowjob, but they're never going home to mom, because the Jewish trust fund kid knows that in order to get his inheritance, his mother and his grandmother are gonna need to approve of his Jewish woman that he brings home, and the white shiksa from fucking Ohio or Missouri is not gonna cut the cake. So these girls have no fucking clue about that. They think that they're out to dinner and that they're having these relationships, and that it's a real thing, but it isn't. They may actually end up with an Armenian or an Arab Muslim or a Saudi, somebody Middle Eastern or Arab, mostly somebody that they do not want to end up with, but somebody who has plenty of money for them, and they will take the money. LA is more or less an exchange of a guy who has money and not much else, and a girl who has a small waist and is kind of pretty and not much else. These sixes, they go to LA, they blow some old men to get money for plastic surgery. So they all have the same fake face and fake breasts. And then beyond that, they starve themselves to be as skinny as they can and dress like a hippie. LA is also the home of everyone who spends as much time and effort and money as they can to look like they spent no time and effort and money. They, the guys, they have perfectly unkept hair, and they're perfectly unshaven, and they're perfectly fit, and their faded t-shirt fits perfectly well. And they are going for a working man, tattooed, working class look, because Hollywood tries to mirror society at large. And it's a big fucking joke, to be perfectly honest with you. But the weather is fantastic. It's 75 degrees and sunny pretty much every day of the year. Aside from that, it's just the most neutral place ever. Nothing is good. The day can't be too bad because the weather is nice. And You can go there as a 25-year-old and do nothing and be nothing and collectively be a part of nothing and then die one day and mostly have wasted your existence hiding from any reality or experience. Another thing that you can do if you are a plain, boring white guy, besides just save a few bucks and buy a bag of cocaine, is you can become a faux spiritual psychedelic journeyman. The girls eat that up. You just tell them that you just took mushrooms and that you meditate, and that they should come to your fucking bonfire. And this is a fantastic way to get laid if you have no money. And again, the girls just want to have some experience that they could brag about to their LA friends or their hometown friends that makes it seem like they made some bold decision by moving. On occasion, you will see an LA girl think that she is New York City material, and she will make a big scene about how she's moving to New York, and New York will want nothing to do with her. And she'll be walking around looking for attention and looking for people smiling at her and people that give a fuck about her workout routine or her salad. And New York City, where there's actual beautiful women and models, will walk right past those girls, and they will start making very depressed Instagram videos, and they will start visiting Los Angeles very often and saying how great it is to be back at home and to see their friends, and then say, but New York City has built me and it's been the best experience, when really New York City wants nothing to do with them because they are not productive citizens in any way. And before long, they will be permanently back in Los Angeles. There is no such thing as a model in Los Angeles. The modeling business is in New York, London, Paris, and Milan. That's the 4 places that industry exists. So any girl that is pretending to be a model outside of those 4 cities is pretending to be a model. Instagram is a prostitute website. So this should be obvious to everyone, but every girl you see on there, especially if they live in Los Angeles or spend the majority of their time in Los Angeles, they are prostitutes. You'll commonly see a more or less naked picture, maybe in a bathing suit or lingerie. And at the bottom, there will be some kind of a positive, optimistic quote. You never listen to a girl's words. You always look at the girl's actions. So the photo is, look at me, I'm naked, I'm a prostitute. And then the quote is, something about inner beauty, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't fucking matter. What else is important to know about the disgusting city of Los Angeles, the disgusting business of Hollywood, and the disgusting Instagram prostitute business that takes place? The girls used to put traveler in their Instagram bio to let rich men know that they were for sale, more or less. But I think everybody got wise to that, and the girls stopped putting traveler. So really now, if they just put more than 2 cities in the bio, it makes it clear to everybody that they're a prostitute. Also, if they've been to Las Vegas more than once or Dubai more than once and posted about it, they are a prostitute. So if you do have a crush on one of these girls, you just really need to save your money, and it probably doesn't cost as much as you think it does, and you could pay to have sex with them. The houses that they generally post videos and photos from, are absolutely not where they live. That is either a sugar daddy situation, or they pretended that they were real estate agents so that they could take photos at a place. They live in dumpster fire shithole apartments. You'll find them in the Beverly Hills Flats, in K-Town, in the Valley, often many of them living in a small area. Is there anything else worth talking about from that city? Overall, it's just a very underwhelming place. I mean, you arrive, the weather is as advertised, everything else is way worse than what you expect. You almost can't believe that so many people could be so incompetent at everything in life. And the girls are, the girls of Los Angeles are not even in the top 25 of American cities in terms of attractiveness or quality overall. If you are an East Coast type of guy and you go there, the two kinds of girls that you are going to succeed with most is the European girls who either moved there or are visiting. So maybe real models from Europe that are just spending some time there briefly, or the actual successful actresses, the ones that are actually making money and don't really hang out with the LA scene. They will like you. And there are some real estate broker girls that actually sell real estate. So about 1 in 100. The majority of the real estate girls is a failed model, actress, prostitute, and what they do is they get involved with an agency and work with an agent, and they're trying to meet a Silicon Valley newly minted millionaire who's buying a house in the hills, and again, to get pregnant and to get married so that they don't have to work. I want this to be the most informative and fastest masterclass in the history of masterclasses. All of the people that you meet when you go out that say that they own the club or the restaurant that you're at, or the house that you're at, or the car that they pulled up in, are lying. There are literally homeless people that pull up to parties in a Ferrari and say that it's their mansion. It is not. The number one sign of anyone that actually has money in Los Angeles is they will not utter a single word about having money, because they know that everybody else is a fucking homeless feeder that is going to try to mooch off them at all costs. There are some good people that are born and raised in Los Angeles. They don't mix in with everybody because they know better. Most of the trash people that you'll meet in Los Angeles are from other places, and they're the worst of the country, and they just decide to collectively go to LA and be nothing together. And the LA of, let's say, the 20s or 30s through the 90s no longer exists. So there was a time when artists would go there and create good art, and we would all absorb it and enjoy it. That all stopped realistically around 2005 when tech became a thing, and the real Hollywood nightlife is now in the houses in the hills. It used to be in clubs on the Sunset Strip, but once there was camera phones and social media, no famous people could allow themselves to be seen out and about. And for whatever reason, more and more losers decided to bust it out there, and all the homeless people in the country more or less live there on the beach. So you could buy a $25 million house in Santa Monica, and there will be some fucking homeless schizophrenic guy shitting on your front sidewalk and stealing your Amazon packages. Everyone there is a fake Democrat, so they're a white liberal elitist. They hate poor white people. They pretend that they like black people, but they live in gated communities nowhere near black people, and they would call the police if they saw a black person. But they do all want to have an Instagram photo with a gay black guy who's wearing a hat, because that gives them some kind of social cred. They'll also say that they're a part of various foundations and organizations, when realistically, if you have a lot of money and you want to help people, you could just give them the fucking money or buy them a house and change their entire life. But what they want is to keep all their money, pretend to be a Democrat, a socialist, a white guilt, white savior for anyone ethnic, and meanwhile they live in a Mexican desert that was stolen from the brown-skinned people who still live amongst them and clean their home. I think that's about it for the masterclass. Everybody feel free to Venmo or Zelle me, and my advice to you would be to get out of town as often as you can. If you decide to live in that shithole, to at least touch some base of reality. San Diego is a much nicer place with much better looking girls. Aside from that, the East Coast is where it's at.